This is the EX.N, one of Gotway's / Begode's latest wheels. This was provided courtesy of UCO.US, located here in San Diego. I've been given this for a couple days to test, and the first thing that I'm going to do is replace the motherboard, the control board. The lift speed of this wheel right now is currently 95 kilometers, and we think that if we replace it with this control board, that should bump it up to 106 kilometers or 100 kilometers an hour. So we are going to go ahead and switch that, and I thought I would show you guys how to do that process. So first we need to remove the pedals. So what you'll need is a number 5 Allen key, a pedal rod from another wheel. You could use a dull one of these, but if it's got a plastic handle, it probably won't work as well as something that's solid. And a mallet. So you may not need a hammer to remove a brand new pedal, but after a while you'll find that you'll need a hammer. Now that the pedal's gone, we can start removing all of these screws. So here is the old control board. But there is a slight difference in this daughter board right here. You can see this one comes down further than this one does. I have no clue what the difference is there. I know that this one was having issues, so I'm going to try to put this control board in here and then swap out the daughter boards to see if that can fix the problem, because this was having issues with the lights from what I was told. So next we need to remove this. So here is the big hole for the motor wire, and a lot of people have been complaining that this is a huge area for water to come in. And it looks like this was Begode's answer to try to prevent water and stuff from getting in. I guess the idea was that it would splash in here and stay in here, or possibly, you know, fall back out but not go up. It also allows for the air that's being blown across the heatsink to escape, or possibly suck in air from outside, bring it across the heatsink and across the control board. I'm not sure which way the fan blows at this moment, so that could be one thing that happens. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I noticed this when I was taking apart the cover, and I wanted to point it out just so you guys are aware. I noticed that as I was taking out some of these screws, this has been completely stripped through, so this bolt will fall through the hole. I have seen this starting to happen on my MSX. I wish that they had, you know, either thicker material here or something to beef up that, because it looks like this one's been pulled through and this one's been pulled through. So the rest of the screws should hold just fine, but 2 of them are already gone. So upon looking more closely at this, I do see a rubber gasket lining the entire compartment in here, so there is some waterproofing, which is nice. But again, there's a big hole right here, so just don't ride in any puddles that go to the axle or the hub of the motor, and you should be good. But as far as rain intrusion, I don't think you'll get any rain. And there's no holes in the side casing, unlike the MSX and the MSP and the RS, if I'm not mistaken. So you should be good in rainy weather. But again, try not to go over any puddles or you will get water coming in from this portion. All right, so next we need to unplug the batteries from the board. And then turn on the wheel to bleed the excess energy out. Okay, that's bled. Now we can start unplugging stuff and taking this control board out. Looking at this one, it looks like there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, and then 4 screws for the daughter board. But this whole piece, this kind of L, is all one piece of aluminum. Before unplugging anything in a wheel, I highly recommend you take some time and just study the board, especially when you get a board that does not look the same. For taking out these motor wires, I recommend using some pliers. There's one. So this is looks like the yellow wire. Blue is in the middle, and that leaves green on the left. So green, blue, yellow. There's a huge hole right here, and it does have some weatherproofing. It's kind of falling out. Looks like there is not enough to go around though. I wonder if I kind of push this through, kind of stretch it out a little bit. If that will help make it go all the way around. Not quite. And it's not wanting to stay in now. So Begode is not putting enough of this weatherproofing in. They're about an inch short, but it's a lot better than it was now. That's some Gotway quality for you. Okay, so I've got this pulled off. Now we can install the new one. I took a separate video of the differences of the boards, so I will play that now. You can see that some of the things are in different spots, and we are missing some of the other things. So I'm purposely not screwing these in all the way because I want to make sure I seal down on this gasket first. Okay, now that this guy is secured down, we can start plugging in everything. And I know there's no way you're gonna see what I'm plugging into, but everything for the most part is color coordinated. Alright, everything is plugged in with the exception of the batteries and the motor wires. I'm going to go ahead and do the motors first. So I want to tell you guys, I knew nothing about electronics, and I still don't really know much about electronics. I have no clue what any of these things are. And I was able to do this. All you need is a screwdriver, an Allen wrench to take off the pedals, and you're good to go. A knife is helpful for removing the silicone, and tweezers or pliers, needle nose pliers, are good for grabbing the plastic. And then I either use my knife or a small flathead to keep the housing part down while I pull out the plug from it, because it's very easy to pull out the housing when you pull out the plug. If you do, just separate the two and put the housing back on. I did that on a couple of these. So, working on your wheel is not difficult. Just remember to unplug the batteries and you're pretty safe. Now, before I put this all back together, just kind of looking everything over, making sure my wires are plugged in. I am not able to put this onto the old board because it doesn't have the holes in the right spot. I think we're ready to bring the spark of life to this new control board. So there's always going to be a spark when you plug the batteries back in. It's just going to happen. Try to plug them in with some force, because it's going to spark. And the wheel is off. You want to make sure that when you bleed the wheel, just push it once. The wheel should make a turn on sound and then eventually die. Push it again to make sure the wheel is off. And here we go. There's that spark. We're good to go. Also, you know, make sure that there is some heat shrink over here before you do that, or be sure to only touch the plastic, because it could give you a shock. But that's all good. I think I'm going to try turning this on before I put the cover on, just to make sure that it turns on and that the lights are doing what they're supposed to do. With this other board, the rear light was flashing 3 times red, which is Gotway's code for something, which is why I'm doing this. But anyways, here we go. Sorry for the loud beep. Okay, so I saw the fan turned on, so that's good. This light is still blinking in the back, so I'm going to see what that is about. The voltmeter is working just fine. The lights are not working, so maybe we've just got a bad daughter board. So just to give an update, I've swapped the control board and kept the original daughter board. And So this was the original control board, and this is the original daughter board. Then Gotway gave this control board to Yuko that had this daughter board attached to it. They tried that and it didn't work. And so I put the bigger daughter board on the new controller and it still doesn't work. There's no headlights, the brake lights don't work, and you can't connect to the wheel at all. It still runs fine, but you can't change any of the settings. So I'm going to put it all back to how it was. I had a fun time swapping everything out, so now I get to swap it all back. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful to someone, and have a fun time riding.